Well, Fortress of Solitude. Really, in my opinion, the best of the early GSW core songs. I wrote it the year before GSW formed, and it was the first song on our first demo that we made in the fall of 1988. And it was just really our signature sound in a lot of ways. It was Steely Dan influenced, but not beating you over the head with it like Imogene. But in a more subtle way, it was Steely Dan influenced. And I want to explain what I mean by that. It had a sus chord based tonality, and so that creates a kind of unresolved tension, and Steely Dan used that a lot. And also this groove, ba-boom, 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 bum, ba-boom, with sort of triplet swing subdivision feel, similar to something like Steely Dan's Babylon Sisters or Home at Last. But what made it different for us is that for the chorus, we go from the sus chord to the major. We're gonna run away, and that has a really uplifting feel. And it was a great song for us to jam on, a great groove for Aaron to play some lead guitar on, and it just really fit the band. Oh, and it also had this unison bass line that Aaron and Dan played together. And that was also characteristic of a lot of our earliest songs. And that was partially because of me listening to reggae. Listened to a lot of reggae, and it was very common in roots reggae for the bass player and a guitar player to play a bass line in unison. And also, I think that was a lot of my control freakiness, wanting to write out what Aaron and Dan should play rather than trusting them. As the years went on later in the band's life, I grew to trust Dan and Aaron to come up with their own parts. But if I wrote a bass line and told them to play it in unison, that meant I was in control of what they were doing. And I liked it that way. And so a lot of our early songs had those unison bass lines. Anyway, Fortress of Solitude, what the lyrics are about, well, it's the apocalypse, yet again. Talked about this with Bring Back the News. Why did I write so many songs about the apocalypse? I don't know. It was my generation. They kept telling us over and over again that the world was going to explode. When I was in high school, they had this show on TV the day after showing a nuclear apocalypse. So it was just kind of a thing that was on people's minds. And the idea of escaping to a fortress of solitude, believe it or not, I wasn't thinking of Superman when I wrote the song with the phrase Fortress of Solitude. I was thinking of an essay I had recently read by the Italian sociologist Umberto Eco. It was the same guy who wrote the novel The Name of the Rose, but he's better known as a kind of sociologist and cultural thinker and semiotician. And the essay Fortresses of Solitude is about this, what he perceives as this American fantasy to run off and construct fantasy worlds. And so that's really what Fortress of Solitude is, because we're imagining a hookup, a one-night stand, wine and smoke filled my head with dreams, had a crazy night and hooked up with someone else, and now all of a sudden it's the apocalypse and we have to leave town. And being that I was a college student in New York City, town means New York City. We have to leave town, drive west across New Jersey. We're driving across the dark New Jersey hills. People think of New Jersey as being all urbanized and suburban, but there's really some very rural parts of it, especially in the northwest corner. And so I was picturing driving west out of New York City, possibly on Route 80 or some other road, and seeing the sun go down across the dark New Jersey hills. Of course, we have to break through a wall or force field of some kind and avoid radar and all sorts of, post-apocalyptic dangers in order to get to the Fortress of Solitude, where together we can, repopulate the earth and build a new world out of hate and love. That's what I wrote a song about, and a nice Steely Dan-ish grooving song on that theme. And this proved to be a real popular song for GSW. And like I said, it just suited us very well in those early days. So now I'm going to try to play a little solo version for you, and I hope you do enjoy it. What a crazy night. Wine and smoke filled my head with dreams. You so near. I found your hands and fingers everywhere. Now, darling, if you're feeling afraid, don't ask me where I'm taking you. It's okay. Do you feel the forest around you? It's dangerous in the backlands alone. Just let me tell you what to do. It's okay. Do you know it's a good thing I found you? 6 o'clock. The highway fills up with 1,000 cars. Close your eyes. Yes, I do believe that you are real. Together we could break through the wall and drive through at the speed of sound. It's okay, their race will pass through you. The radar wouldn't pick up a thing down in the caverns underground. It's okay, pretty soon we will be free. Yes, I'm gonna run away to the fortress of solitude. It's okay, everything is life-size. We're gonna run away to the fortress of solitude, build a new world of hand and love. Yeah. The sun goes down, lighting up the dark New Jersey hills. Oh, my love, I'm gonna be here till the end of time. The bombing has begun by now. The city's going down in flames. You must be strong in this weather. The old world's at the edge of the sea, about to slide into the freezing waves. At least if we die, we're together. Yes, I'm gonna run away to the fortress of solitude. It's okay, everything is life-size. We're gonna run away to the fortress of solitude, build a new world of hate and love. Yes, we're gonna run away to the fortress of solitude. It's okay, everything is life-size. We're gonna run away to the fortress of solitude, build a new world of hate and love. Yeah. And you know, just as a postscript to that, we did all kinds of different things with the jam in the middle. Sometimes it would just be a one chord jam all the way down. Sometimes we would intersperse, go into that B verse with the C major chord. Or we had this whole written out double guitar solo thing that we used to do sometimes. Lots of possibilities with Fortress of Solitude. And thank you so much for watching and listening to these videos. I do appreciate it if you subscribe to the YouTube channel, Dr. Lo Faber, and check out all the other song and story videos and all the other videos that I got on this channel. There's an awful lot of them. And let me know in the comments if there's anything you'd like to see or hear here, and I will see you next time.